One shift can permanently change your life. I'm Dr. Tim, and I have been on a mission to find special people. And I can often recognize these people when I see them. There's something in their demeanor or their eyes that just says, I'm on the path. And one of the first people that I found was Thomas. I was in Costa Rica, and he said, you should come to a retreat I'm putting on. I flew to Guatemala and I checked into a 3-week-long mystery school with the efforts of understanding frequency and sound. And he was one of the first people that I went to when I was looking for answers, because I found that when I was working on people and I would open their physical bodies, that almost immediately they were closing again. And so I knew on some level that I had to go to a place and understand the secrets of sound. And it brought me to Guatemala, and in this video, it's the introduction of my understanding of sound and how to use it. I sat down with Thomas and interviewed him because of a genuine desire to understand what he understood. Each of us is on our own journey, and I found that Thomas's journey took him the same way I was trying to go, trying to accomplish the same things that I was trying to accomplish, but he was using sound and frequency and ceremony. And so I thought if I could combine what I do and what he does, that there would be some answers.
The purpose of the training is to empower people to use sound to generate spaces that allow healing to naturally occur. And we do that through just opening the voice and also singing into people and just empowering people to use sound to connect with multidimensional energy, connect with healing energy, so that they can become more of themselves and let go of things that aren't them. Throughout time, this was quite normal. We've traveled from different parts of the world to pilgrimage to a sacred temple to come into a collective exploration of how we can bring more soul into our bodies, how we can become vessels for healing, how we can uplift the awakening of consciousness on this planet. Well, I think we're born with open bodies and open voices. These beliefs that we're not good enough, or that our sound, our expression, our truth isn't welcome, translates into the body as a holding pattern. Literally, we start holding our breath. We start holding our voice back. And so we have these ways of holding ourselves back that then translates into patterns of contraction in the body that I think translates into diaphragm. Our natural breath cycle gets interrupted. Of course, our bodies, when we are frozen in trauma, when we're frozen in conditioning, when we start moving sound into those parts, it starts opening like a flower. And when we start opening that, all the emotions, all the charge that wasn't expressed comes to the surface and wants out. And we all have this soul song. And so the manipulation with the support to move all the energy that is not us, that's keeping us contracted, when that opens and releases, our natural song emerges. There's another important dimension to this, which is, of course, there's stuck energy in the physical body, but that's a reflection of stagnated energy in the energetic bodies. And sound, for me, is the fastest way to shift the field, the energetic field that someone lives in. When we harmonize around someone's body, it starts shifting the field. Once we've got a harmonious field around someone, the body follows. I believe matter follows energy. When we work with the body and the physical body and the energy body, magic happens. Once our energy bodies are clear and open, life force can flow through. Life force can flow into the body, and it will naturally open, because I believe our natural state is an open body. is an open breath, is an open voice.
100% totally agree. And it was that realization that made me close my practice and go on this train of discovery. And, like you said, if we don't harmonize this energetic field, that they're going to go back
Yeah.
into the distortion.
Yeah. And seeing how what you do with the body, adding sound to that, I've just seen miracles happen. Like people letting go of things, ailments they've been with for 10 years, or emotional trauma from childhood suddenly unwinds, untangles, is freed out, and doesn't come back. It's gone.
And the only thing that I would add to that is, the flow of life, the flow of source to our bodies, um, it requires a deep level of willingness to surrender. And the only people I see that are really having these like magnificent, miraculous healings are the ones who believe that this is achievable and are willing to surrender anything and everything that's getting in the way of that opening.
Yeah.
So Thomas and I came together, and we had an interview. And during the interview, we started talking about using these techniques together. And he wanted to do a demonstration. And so we asked if anyone in the room was currently suffering. And two people raised their hands. The first one was Nina, and she came up and she described the pain that she was in. And physically, we muscle tested her and we checked her range of motion. And we found that I think one whole side of her body was in contraction, and that the range of motion had been lost and the strength had been lost. And so it was an experiment of if sounding alone with multiple people, masculine and feminine at the same time, would create a result that was demonstratable.
Hi, my name is Nina Viger, and I'm from Sweden. And the reason why I'm here at this training, I felt a little bit blocked and I didn't really have the confidence to like step into my voice fully. So I know it started as a mental block because I had a teacher telling me when I was like 10 that I couldn't be in the choir anymore or something because I couldn't sing. But then I got physical symptoms, and since I was a teenager, I've been having like shoulder pain, back pain, neck pain. It kind of moves around. And definitely that has to do with me not stepping fully into my power or not knowing how to do that. What I felt the day of the ceremony was this intense, like burning sensation in my back. And it had this like black mass, kind of like it was an icky, black, dark feeling in my back. Definitely. So I was laying on my side so they could reach my back where I had the burning sensation. And then I could hear the first voices starting to sing into my body. It was incredible. Within just like 1 minute of Steffi, Joanna, and Thomas singing into various parts of my body, I first started to shake, and then I think I started to cry, and then I started to laugh.
It happened super fast. Within a minute, I think, of the sounding from multiple directions beginning, um, her body started to move and shake, and she felt some contraction through her body beginning to open and release. And I think the whole ceremony was under 10 minutes.
It was just such a release, and it's hard to put words on exactly what was happening, but I could really feel that black mass was like moving out of my body in various ways, through the tears, through my sounds, through sweat, like, and through shaking. It was really intense and really beautiful at the same time. So I was laughing because it was blissful in a way, but I was also crying because it wasn't physical pain, but the mental pain, the pain of like that darkness being removed from my body, if that makes sense.
After the ceremony, I immediately checked, and the range of motion of her body had opened, and the strength had come back. And so that was a huge aha moment, because even without manipulation, these twists can open. Was that it doesn't have to take 20 visits. Most times when we go to the doctor, they're like, okay, well, give me 12 weeks or go on this year-long journey, or healing takes time. And I found that often it doesn't need to take time. Like something can open up, unlock, and come back into harmony extremely fast if given the right conditions. And that's what learning how to use these tones and our voice has taught me, that it doesn't have to take a long time. And one shift can permanently change your life. What we're going to do is we're going to show some examples of this in action, of using ceremony, of using multiple people, masculine, feminine, and toning to get into this torsion and twist in them. And so you'll see Jack and you'll see Joanna having healing moments using this. And this is the first step, I feel, in creating a new type of medicine.
It sounds pretty crazy, but it works.